This is the technical negotiation that's going on. The owners have the power, and the players are going to have to come to the table. And let's be honest, guys, it's about a cap, a floor, and revenue sharing. That's really what the agenda is.
You guys, this was a delayed preemptive strike. This was rumored to have been a possibility during the pandemic years, the year where the season was significantly delayed, and then last year. And both sides felt like they couldn't do anything and take the bold step because of the pandemic. The PR disaster would be worse during that time. So, I heard this last night from Jeff Hesson. There was a fear from owners that the players would strike at some point this year if they didn't do it. And they're concerned about you jeopardize. This is just one of the spins on Tom. Trust me. Yeah. And so there was a fear that 94-95 would repeat itself from baseball. So the date. I want to go back to honestly. I know. Okay, we had Matt who said I'm giving up my season tickets. Yeah, there is the isolated Matts out there. I would say if they're playing baseball by May, and I said, you guys, you want to go down to the Tiger game today as fans? You'd all say no. Well, I would do it no matter, Yeah. So I just really wonder about the impact here. And I go back to the NHL, and they went through a full season shutdown, and then a big lockout in 2012, right, or 13. And yeah, the sport is a little bit of a shell of what it used to be. But do you hear any financial struggles from anybody whatsoever? The core hockey fan is still there. No teams are playing under. Leagues are still expanding, and the management is competitive. So I just
that get this thing moving. That's what's going to happen because the owners, they can take this thing all the way until June or July if they want to. Yeah, they may lose money in 2022 if that happens.
They had a hard time with the like when the pandemic.
Right. If they lose money in 2022, that's fine. If they play only in 2024, and then in 2023, the same owners all go to the back and say, well, it's just a policy.
massive amount of money, while half and more than half and a big percentage of the rest of the team has got the smaller salaries, even though they're out there playing every day just as hard.
All right, let me ask you this. Are you, and I'm just going to throw these names out just as their names. Are you more offended by LeBron James making, let's say, 30 million, I think, you know, these are not actual numbers, making $30 million a year, or the 11th guy on the bench who's making $2 million a year, who doesn't play that much? To me, personally, the stars can get whatever they want, that's fine, as long as they perform. It's the other guys who are making a lot of money who don't play very much, that's the ones that bother me as well. We're wrong.
The still should be, and look at even look at Detroit. Okay, max salary hindered our ability to do more with our team because they get max salary the whole time we were here. And in every, you've seen that happen in big old teams where when you max salary down one guy, then it takes away from the rest of the team, hurts the equality.
Well, that's on the ownership. That's on the ownership. pick it up with, it's A-N blank T-H-E-R is the first word. So there's one word, one letter missing out of that. The next one is feather. That's already been in there. Then it's blank N. Next word, Y blank blank R. And then the last one is, I believe, blank dash.
Let me set this up one day.
Yes.
What?
The puzzle that said another feather, blank N, and then Y-O blank R, and then blank A-N. So we get another feather. blank
So the
A-N.
final answer is supposed to be another feather in your cap. All right, so that's the saying. And there are just 4 letters missing in the final 3 words. It's clear what this saying is.
Correct.
And here
Another
is
feather on your hat.
yes, and here is what happened on Wheel of Fortune.
500.
Y.
1 Y.
Followed by a vowel.
Okay.
An O.
2 O's.
I'll solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your hat.
Christopher.
So close.
650.
G.
No G. Thomas. Uh-oh, the bankrupt got you. Well, you have another shot at it. You can spin the wheel and try to solve the puzzle.
I'll solve.
Okay.
Okay.
Another feather in your lap.
Hold the feather is moving around. Christopher.
That's it, Jack.
900.
D.
What?
No. Thomas, I think the wheel got. Laura, you have another opportunity here. You can spin the wheel. You can try to solve the puzzle. What do you want to do? Go ahead and spin if you don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and
yeah,
spin.
Get buzzed out here on time. Well, what letter would you like?
A P.
Yes, there's P. Spin or solve.
I will solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your map.
Christopher, it's your turn. Oh my goodness. The bankrupt got you. Thomas, you have no money. I don't know what you're going to spend. You're gonna try to
I'll spin.
So what letter would you like?
A C.
Is there a C up there anywhere? There you go. You want to solve this?
I'll solve. Another feather in your cap.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you kidding me? A hat? Okay, like a hat was at least okay. You just got the wrong word to go with
Right.
the right accessory.
Right. I don't think people have feathers in their laps.
No. And how about Pat saying, Jack? Oh, that feather's moving around.
Yeah. Or
guess
your
it-
map.
I'm guessing none of those people post their Wordle scores.
No, no. But hey, how about the one dude that guesses a G? Where does that go? Or then
Yeah.
his next one is a D.
Yeah. Dap.
This is something like
That-
that make you feel like we're doomed.
As a society, yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. I'm gonna pull a Stony. I'm sorry, but this was another feather in your cap. I mean, it doesn't get once it's not hat. You gotta believe that they are going to get it. And how about the one dude that kept hitting bankrupt, and
I
then
know.
he's the one that finally solves the puzzle.
He probably knew it. He kept on getting bankrupt.
Yeah, I can't believe he wasn't the one sitting there laughing, going, "I can't believe the other guys aren't getting this."
When you had another feather and the rest of what was there originally at the beginning of that,
Right.
how did 2 people not know that saying?
Right. And we did point out the category, whatever you call it, wasn't phrase.
Right. Yes. And after hat is used first. Right. Again, I'm not going to crucify them for saying hat. They got the right accessory, just the wrong word for it. But when that is no longer right, I mean...
Now, the only thing with the hat thing is T and H were already on the board.
Correct.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I didn't even see that.
Now, what else could there have been? What other wrong guesses could there have been? Another feather in your sap?
I don't know. You're running out of options. That's why you're like, okay, G? Like, what in the hell is that dude thinking? And then he follows it up with D?
Or, we like to sleep during the day. Another feather in your nap.
Is this worse than Agilus?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because Agilus was maybe funnier. This is worse.
Because it's
it was
multiple
epic
people.
fail by 3 people.
Yes, multiple people. Well, but the one dude who did solve it, like, he didn't guess it wrong. He just kept spinning the wheel and getting bankruptcy. Or lose your turn.
Bankrupt, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he gets kind of a pass just because the little wheel just didn't allow him to have the answer. But the other two, my goodness, it's ridiculous.
Her name was Laura Machado.
Yeah.
Had a tough time sleeping that one off. All right, 248-539-9797. It's the Stoney and Jansen program here on 97.92.
Hey, one of the things you gotta love about betting your favorite sports is that you're always finding new player props or game props that you like. And that's what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine props and multiple games, and now even multiple sports. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus, and you can only find it on FanDuel. Combine NBA player props you like with maybe favorite NHL scores for a chance to score an even bigger payout. You get to put down a little and win a lot, so the risk reward is there. Same Game Parlay Plus right now is only available on FanDuel, and if you don't want to build your own same game parlay, check out their popular same-game parlay section where you can join the bets other users are jumping on. Last month, over 14,000 customers won a total of $1.1 million during the Bucks at Lakers game. And if you're new to FanDuel, you can sign up using promo code Jansen to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket. Must be 21 or over in present Michigan. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is now withdrawable. Site credit expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ EMI 50 Traffic Center, the roads are accident-free this morning, but definitely seeing some slowdown scattered around Metro Detroit. That includes through the work zone on southbound 75 from Rochester Road to 12 Mile. Little heavy 696 westbound near Quinder. Also through the construction zone on 275 northbound, mainly from Ford Road to 1496. On the southbound side, prepare for lane closures between 5 Mile and Michigan Avenue. Also slow on 96 eastbound approaching Novi Road and 94 westbound between Chalmers Otter Drive and Van Dyke. I'm Michelle Pendia with traffic.
The Detroit Pistons play the Toronto Raptors. Pre-game tomorrow night at 7:05 on 97.1 The Ticket.
This is Zach Gelb with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Baseball loves to spin in our faces. They did so in 2020 and are doing so once again in 2022. The last 2 days were an absolute joke, where Major League Baseball leaked out to reporters that progress was being made on a new CBA, when in reality, no deal was ever getting done by yesterday's new 5 p.m. deadline. As usual, baseball doesn't care about the fans. Now the paying customers get screwed by the sport for some reason we still love. Bleep off, MLB. I'm Zach Gelb.
Great news from Rocket Mortgage. You could unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In fact, in the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. That means you could unlock thousands of dollars. And with Rocket Mortgage, you could unlock all that cash in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up, because nobody knows how long these low rates will last. Put your hard-earned money to work. Make your life better. Build a home office. Remodel your kitchen. Or simply save that cash for a rainy day. Today's rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.25%, 3.48% APR. So you can lock in a great low monthly payment. When you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. For no less consumer access. Access.org, over 33, call 800-490-1233 for this use and cost information.
Well, you just saw the forecast, Detroit. It's another cold one, and more on the way. If you're ready to trade in that winter coat and boots for a t-shirt and flip-flops, make plans to head down to Lakeland, Florida, where it's warm and sunny all year round. There's Legoland Florida Resort and Safari Wilderness Ranch, as well as beautiful gardens to explore. Or you can get out on the lakes, maybe go for a hike. Plus, all that good food. Florida's sweetest spot is calling. Go to visitcentralflorida.com to plan your trip.
As a small business owner, your bottom line is always top of mind. So start saving by switching to Comcast Business Mobile. It's a mobile service designed for small business that can save you money with unlimited data for just $24 per line per month for 10 lines. Perfect for any small business looking to grow. Or you can pay by the gig. And with access to millions of Wi-Fi hotspots, you'll pay only for the data you need. No line fees, activation costs, or term contracts. You can save up to $500 a year on your wireless bill, all on the most reliable 5G network. And it's only available to Comcast Business Internet customers. So boost your business's bottom line with a more reliable, more affordable mobile service by switching to Comcast Business Mobile today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability assessment wins in 2H 2021. Wi-Fi networks not tested. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
30 years ago, in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Crown Heights, a car accident set off 4 days of unrest. 2 people died, hundreds were arrested. I'm Collier Meyerson, and my new show, Love Thy Neighbor, explores what came to be known as the Crown Heights Riot. It's a story about New York's first black mayor, the rise of Rudy Giuliani, and the Lubavitch Jewish and Caribbean communities sitting at the center of it all. You can listen to new episodes of Love Thy Neighbor every week wherever you listen, or you can binge the entire series exclusively on Odyssey.
Are you a man facing divorce or want to avoid losing your house, your money, and your kids? This is attorney Brent Boyer from ADAM, the American Divorce Association for Men. With our proven advice, we can help you avoid problems before they start. Call us at 248-356-2326. That's 248-356-ADAM.
Rock of the 70s and 80s that conjures up memories of epic tailgate parties, mesmerizing late shows, fog machines, and lighters held high. Arena Rock, the new Odyssey exclusive station. Get it on the Odyssey app today. Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Tony and Jansen.
97 won the ticket. The telephone number is 248-539-9797. I would be remiss because it's something that I'm probably the only one who really gives a rat's ass about, but I do want to mention because he was probably my first athletic hero growing up, but today is the 60th anniversary of Will Chamberlain scoring 100 points in a game. So, way to go, Will. Rest in peace, buddy. They always say, "Oh, there's a record. This record will never be broken." That's got a shot. I will never say that record will never be broken. I mean, Kobe came close with 81, I believe, is what he had. So you never know, especially these days with the three-pointers. Some guy gets really, really high. They feed him the ball, and you never know. But that was an unbelievable feat. And what's even more miraculous about it, there was no film, video, or anything besides him holding up a piece of paper that says 100.
Kobe, Stoney, you say Kobe came close, but he was still 19 points shy.
I know. But, the three wasn't as prolific as it was now. I mean, obviously it was still existent. It was in existence, but it wasn't as prolific.
You're talking about from Kobe?
Yes. All right.
We talked about that Wheel of Fortune thing. Are you guys aware there was an incident last week?
No.
Maybe not quite as bad. So here's the clue. It said up there everything but the J. So Jurassic Park, and then the last word had an O and an IES. And so what was missing was the M and the V for movies. So she guessed the O and tried to solve and said Jurassic Park bodies.
Huh.
Maybe not as bad as this one.
No,
it's because,
not.
there were some dead bodies in Jurassic
Oh, yeah.
Park.
Yeah, parts flying everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Last night, I didn't watch it. I don't know if I would positive anyway, but because I was watching the Michigan State game. But we had the State of the Union address, and I'm not going to go into what was said or anything like that. But I was just curious what you guys think. The State of the Union of Detroit area sports, including Michigan and Michigan State, the two big ones, basketball and football. So 248-539-9797. So the question I have is, which sport, which team, whatever, the State of the Union is the brightest, and which team, the State of the Union of that particular team is the worst?
Well, I would guess that each of these teams would say that the state of their union is strong.
Yes, probably, but that's why I'm not asking them, I'm asking you guys. Because when I look at it, and it's somewhat similar to we see who's the next team to win the championship. I don't know, as far as the best, although despite what happened yesterday, I still think it's the Tigers because of what they have on the field. That we've seen a little bit of the young players, Mize and Skubal and Manning to a certain extent, and what we hope is there in the future of Torkelson and Green, and maybe even down the road Job and others like that, and of course the signing of a Rodriguez, Baez in the offseason. As far as the worst, it's a tough one. It really is, and I'm gonna have to say the Lions. Here's why, because the Pistons still have, I believe a chance to get another top 3 pick. And I still think in basketball, it's easier to a certain extent if you are lucky enough to get a great player, even somebody better than Kane, to excel up the line. The Lions, they played hard and they did all the right things. It's still early. They got 3 wins. Even if they do a really nice job in the draft and free agency, I don't expect them to be a Super Bowl contender for a while either. It's tough. And the college ones, I think both football ones the State of the Unions are pretty strong. Michigan State. Basketball, they're not as good as we thought, but I still think there's a base there, and maybe Michigan State's might be a little worse than Michigan's because who knows how long Izzo's going to be there. I don't know. What do you guys think? 248-539-9797.
I think it's hard to argue the Tigers. And for all the reasons that you mentioned, the young players, the optimism, A.J. Hinch, I think, is the number one reason. And I'll put this argument out there. I would say the Red Wings. And I would say it because of Steve Yzerman and the faith that I have in him. Plus, Lucas Raymond hit the game winner last night. We know Mo Sider is going to add to his hardware throughout the course of his career, and especially this year. And
you've been reading about these guys that they have in Sweden, the first draft choice this year.
Right.
There's a 6'8" guy that they drafted a couple years ago who's just flourishing. It's like he's a freak, like a hockey unicorn right now. Yeah, the future does look very bright there as well.
And I'm a little more optimistic than you are for the Lions. I don't think they're the worst. And I would put them middle of the pack because I believe a little bit more in what Brad Holmes is doing. I need to see more from Dan Campbell. Yes, there's a great feeling of winning 3 of the last 5, and him taking over the play calling, getting better. I'm optimistic about Ben Johnson taking over the play calling defensively, with AG calling the defense and being able to keep him not going back down to New Orleans, not getting a head job. I'm more optimistic because I think Brad Holmes is what's going on, Tom.
It's a drop. That's all I got to say.
Oh, what did I say?
I think it is. I think it crossed the line.
What did I say? I don't even know.
You're happy you didn't get a head job.
I'm glad he didn't get a head job.
That's what I said. He didn't get a head job.
Okay.
He might not be as happy, but
I don't know how I work with you guys, just so you're sure.
The best part about this, though, is we're on Zoom, and I'm looking at Dub, and I'm like starting to laugh, and he sees me laughing, and It's like,
glad that Aaron Glenn is still with us. But I don't even know where I was at. I have confidence in Brad Holmes' ability to draft after what we saw last year and the success that he had in year one. And hearing from both of them yesterday. And I know we're going to talk, we're going to hear some sound from them at the 8:35 hour, but I'm excited about what the Lions are doing with Brad Holmes. I want to see more from Dan Campbell, this coaching staff, and as these young players continue to develop.
So who's your worst? We'll find out coming up after Chris Villar's update. 97 on the ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike C Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Down a goal with less than 3 minutes to play. Dylan Larkin stealing the puck, tying the game with his 27th goal. Then in overtime, with the clock ticking down again, it was a Wings rookie who sent the Hurricanes packing.
Sider shoots the puck on the doorstep. Freeman scores! Bertuzzi took a whack at it and ended up on the left side of the goal. And Lucas Freeman, with 8 seconds left, wins the game in overtime for Detroit. The final score, Red Wings 4 and Carolina 3.
2 points for the Wings. Larkin extends his personal point streak to 10 games. Goals by Roney and Rasmussen as well, as Detroit stops a 2-game slide with the last-second victory. Meanwhile, Michigan Hoops with their most impressive win of the season, running over rival Michigan State in Ann Arbor 87-70, outscoring them 44-28 in the first half. Hunter Dickinson unstoppable with 33 points, a career high. A huge win for a team on the bubble of the NCAA tournament. A back-and-forth game in Washington, D.C., ending with the Pistons on the losing side of the scoreboard. Wizards beat them 116-113 after shooting 50% from the game from the field and from three. And say goodbye to opening day around Major League Baseball, the league canceling the first 2 series after no CBA was reached, with the lockout continuing. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
248-539-9797. Good morning. It is the Stoney and Jansen program. Coming up at 9:35, we'll be joined by Mr. Robert Lanowski, the Detroit News, and of 97.1 The Ticket. Yes, it is Wednesdays with Wojo. The State of the Union speech took place yesterday in Washington, D.C. We're asking the state of the Detroit Sports Union, of our 8 teams, meaning the 4 pro teams and 2 football and 2 basketball from Michigan State, which state of the union is strongest and which is the weakest. And you know what's interesting is, I mentioned the Lions as being the weakest. You have none of our 4 teams probably are going to be in the playoffs in the next year or maybe 2, and yet we really are having a hard time figuring out who's the weakest.
Stoney, you say weakest. And I'm sure John would agree with me saying it's actually question markiest.
Yes.
Okay.
And the problem is we're trying to figure out who the weakest of, some very weak opportunities.
Correct, but we're also looking at them like, wow, the futures are looking
right. We're very optimistic in the question
mark. We're like the State of the Union.
Yes.
Whoever the president is always says the State of the Union is great,
Sure. And my least optimistic, and it's, I think, going to be very different than yours. What was yours again? It's been so long.
The worst was the Lions.
The Lions, yes, right. Mine is the Pistons.
Yeah, that was my second one, yeah.
And here's the reason why is, okay, they won the lottery last year, and it was, it was fade for Cade, it was all of those different things, and there was some discussion as to whether it was going to be Cade Cunningham or, Jalen Green, and I think they made the right decision. But that was one of those that kind of fell into that, much like Brad Holmes, and I think it's hard to argue the number 7 overall pick with Penei Sewell, it kind of fell into their lap. When you're thinking about the Pistons and Troy Weaver, I do have faith in Troy Weaver, except his first draft pick, Killian Hayes, is really not, panning out. And if you don't have the number 1 overall pick and you don't know exactly who you're taking. Yes, you're going to have another lottery pick this year, but and the hard part in basketball is it's kind of a crapshoot. Like, you don't know. Ask New Orleans, right? With Zion Williamson, they thought that they won the lottery. If you think back to when they knew that they won the first overall pick, they were celebrating like there was no tomorrow. And
they did win the lottery.
Well, yeah, but they took Zion Williamson. And now we're looking at what Ja Morant, who was taken number 2 overall, has done. And it doesn't mean that Zion's not still going to be a good player. He just can't figure out a way to stay healthy and get on the court. That's the unpredictability of drafting in the NBA. It's really hard to figure out, how does a guy's game translate to the NBA? Are they actually going to be a superstar? Can we pair another guy with Cade Cunningham so that we can take the next step? We thought they were going to take at least a little baby step this year, and it's not been that way.
You know who else might qualify as the weakest at the State of the Union? Is Michigan basketball, only if, Dickinson doesn't come back, which nobody expects him to come back, despite the fact he really has an NBA role. If Diabate leaves, if Houston leaves, which to me is foolish, although he's playing better, and you have this revolving door every season, and there's maybe not that foundation that is laid. So maybe Michigan basketball, at least with Michigan State, for the most part, their guys stay.
Right.
They're not as good.
They stay and they're developed, and
Correct.
As long as Tom Izzo is there, I don't think I could ever put them as the bottom of the State of the Union.
Right. 248-539-9797. Your text, your phone calls, Gov.
I want to keep the colleges out of it. I just think it's so hard with recruiting and stuff. Yeah. To the 4 teams, you have to pick the Lions to be the least optimistic. Yeah. They didn't have a Pro Bowl player.
Well, I think Jonah Jackson was in the Pro Bowl, wasn't he?
Well, he was an alternate.
Okay, he still was there.
You still got this is still a talent issue,
Right.
legitimate professional talent. Like my thing always with Cade Cunningham and taking him over Jalen Green was I felt like you're going to get an NBA All-Star. I don't know if you're going to get an all-timer or a superstar, but I felt like you get an all-star caliber player, and I think that is coming to fruition, right?
Yeah.
So I think they've got legitimate building blocks. I love what the Lions are doing with their offensive line. I think it could be a dominant unit. Still though, it's like, and even with the Tigers, it's all a lot of speculation.
Correct.
The good thing with the Tigers is that they're going to have money to spend here allegedly too. So even if some of these prospects don't work out, well, they already did with Baez. I should cut them some slack, but
I know. I'm Rodriguez.
I think the Red Wings. I think Sider is destined to be an all-star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Dylan Larkin, better year than I think most was anticipated. I still think he's just a nice player, and I ultimately wonder if he's part of all this in the long term. But you got to have faith in Yzerman, and just look what he did with Tampa. And Lucas Raymond, I still think we need to see some more,
What a solid first year.
I think every team, we talked about this, I think a year or 6 months ago, we feel way better about the future than we did.
Yes.
That we've been through the worst. I think a little disappointment in the Pistons' performance this year, but they are, as a healthy team, playing better recently. So as they were supposed to be constructed, the team is a little bit maybe better than we thought they were.
Detroit sports, basically, we're like the pandemic. We've been through the worst.
Yeah.
Now we're
The
getting
endemic of Detroit sports is where we are.
Yes.
With the Lions, it's so easy to buy in. I know, and we'll play some of this sound later in the show, but I heard John playing some of it before, and they're all saying the right things. Talk don't mean crap with this team.
Right, okay. I agree, but let's take a look at what we saw from, and I mentioned, hey, I need to see more from Dan Campbell. I need to see 17 games of good decisions. I need to be able to see, what they're doing, offensively. Is it going to be better this year with Ben Johnson calling plays? Like, we don't know that. We don't have a way to measure that yet. We're hopeful, but and this is why I mentioned, for the Tigers, it's A.J. Hinch. For the Red Wings, it's Steve Yzerman. These are the guys that give me hope about what they're doing. Now, those two guys have a great track record of being able to prove what they can do. when you're talking about the Lions, the track record is much less for Brad Holmes. And you have Penei Sewell, and again, fell into their lap. I'm not going to give him too much credit for making an obvious pick. To Stoney's point, and I caution bringing this up, the Carolina trade. Like, how do you judge that in regards to Brad Holmes? But he also did find Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. Aleem McNeil looks like a good pick in the 3rd round. He was able to find some talent in the undrafted ranks of last year. So this year, they have more draft capital. They've got 3 picks in the top 34. I expect those to be contributors on next year's football team and add to the talent that we're seeing with a young offensive line that's under contract for a long time, an offense that you can build around and eventually find your quarterback, a defense that needs help at every single level, but they have that capital this year to be able to go make those adjustments and additions. Plus they have some capital in free agency, and it really all comes down to what does Brad Holmes do with the opportunity he's been presented in this offseason.
A lot of times we rightfully get criticized for being too critical on our teams because we watch them so closely, and we're negative a lot of times, especially me and some others. But conversely, are we looking at these 4 teams and the college teams too, maybe more favorably because
we're so hopeful?
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it. Because if you ask the same question to a non-biased a bunch of media people who follow all the sports and things like that, they might not be as high on the Detroit teams as we are.
I don't remember a time, probably when I was too young to remember, where it seems like all 4 teams are doing the right thing. Now, but the prospects, the hope, you got to see the dividends eventually. Well, you saw that with the Tigers back in the 80s. You saw it with the Pistons. You saw it with the Red Wings. But we're sitting in that early 80s malaise right now where nobody's hit the jackpot yet. I mean, you would have to think with the Tigers, okay, they got Baez, proven everyday player. And then out of Torkelson, Green, Manning, Mize, Skubal, that 2 of them end up being very good everyday players, right?
Yeah.
And if you get that, the rest is gravy.
It's funny you brought out the early 80s. I mean, you look at the early 80s, Pistons got Isaiah, the Red Wings got Iserman. Unfortunately, he got hurt. The Lions in the early 80s got Billy Sims. I mean, and the Tigers guys came up through the farm system, Whitaker, Gibby and Tram and those guys. So maybe, hopefully, we could have a similar amount of success.
Well,
I don't think the Red Wings have their Iserman.
No.
And I don't think the Pistons have their Isaiah.
No.
And so that's why I maybe tap the brakes a little bit. And then the Lions is just, again, I don't think the Lions have, at least yet, not that Sewell can't be or whatever, but other than their offensive line, I'm not trusting that anybody else is a part of a winning organization. And I'll even say that about St. Brown so far. I mean, look how we felt about TJ after year 1.
Right, there needs to be major steps taken, and it's got to be by the players. It's also got to be by the front office in the players that they add, whether it's through free agency, because they have, what is it right now, I think $21 million worth of cap space to be able to go out and add, whether they add a receiver in free agency or a receiver in the draft or both. Ben Johnson talked about it down at the Combine, that they need somebody to be able to stretch the field. They need a weapon on the outside because he feels like they can attack the middle of the field, but they've got to find a way to get vertical and have that vertical threat, whether that's in free agency or throughout the draft. They have that opportunity, and I'm clearly more optimistic about what Brad Holmes did in year 1 and what I believe he can continue to do than you guys are.
Well, I would say this with them, then free agency. I want them to be conservative this off-season. I want them to methodically build this roster. I saw speculation that they might go after, and this is nothing attributed to the Lions other than just speculation by media, that they would go after Chris Godwin. I don't want that. I don't want to overpay for Christian Kirk.
No. No, you don't want to overpay for anyone, and that's where when Brad Holmes talks about, hey, the plan and sticking with the plan and being patient. That's why and again, we'll see that actions speak louder than words. We've heard him talk about this. Now we need to see, and we saw it last year by not franchising a wide receiver that we didn't think was a part of the long-term solution, not keeping a quarterback that we didn't think was a part of the long-term solution.
I mean, he was right in hindsight by how he handled getting both Perriman and Williams.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather have those failed moves again this offseason because they don't hurt you in the future.
They don't commit long-term.
Exactly. 248-539-9797. Speaking of Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, let's hear what they had to say at the Combine coming up next. 97 minutes.
Hey, I'm down 40 pounds, and it only took 40 days. The company that I used to help me make that a possibility, Ideal You. Ideal You really works, and they use whole foods to help you detoxify and lose weight. And because they use whole foods, Ideal You is running a limited time promotion where people get $200 in free groceries when you purchase the program. So they're going to start you off right. As the process goes, and from my experience, they teach you what to eat and drink to lose weight. They're going to be in contact with you on a daily basis with a weight loss coach through an app, through texting, through phone calls, through appointments. It's easy program to follow. And once you've reached your goal, then this is where I am right now. They're going to teach you how to keep the weight off. I'm in the lock-in phase. I'm introducing new foods, and it's been going outstanding for me. Go with the program that uses real food to make you lose weight. Locations are in Sterling Heights, Livonia, and Ann Arbor. Book today, and Ideal You will give you $200 in free groceries when you sign up. On top of the program, you're going to get a free body composition analysis. Book your free consultation right now at idealu.us. Results may vary based on physical health and adherence to the program. No weight loss or health guarantees are provided or implied.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Nika IBEWQ Local 58. West of Ann Arbor, 94 eastbound after Fletcher Road, all lanes are now blocked due to an accident. Another crash is still working, leaving just one lane open, 94 westbound at 12 Mile in Macomb County. Put the expertise and skill of Nika signatory contractors and IBEW electricians to work on your commercial, public, industrial, or residential construction project. Productivity and innovation matter. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
BetMGM welcomes you with a special offer on the NBA. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game. If either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use bonus code STONY200. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps to rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. BetMGM is proud to be an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Download the app and go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code STONY200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three-pointer. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Michigan only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
My Friday nights usually spent out. But since my friends got Xfinity Internet, Friday nights in are where it's at. Because Xfinity has Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig to power a house full of connected devices all at once. We got our show streaming, playlists bumping, and games galore. That's gig speed Wi-Fi for every great night in. Can your internet do that? Come on, y'all. The coasters aren't just for decoration.
Now through March 7th, ask how to get a special offer of $200 back when you get gig speed internet. Or get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, fees extra, and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and X-Fi gateway. Actual speeds vary.
With thousands of dollars in new tax credits this year, Jackson Hewitt understands there's a lot at stake this tax season. We have 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt tax
useful, like giving you $100 just to switch. So that's 100. Then we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. That's 101. Finally, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund. That's 102. Want to discover 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit JacksonHewitt.com for details.
I need 4 more of the brisket carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3...
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring this to the pickup counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short-staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. The majority of homeowners in Michigan gained well in excess of $30,000 in equity in 2021. And Hall Financial is here to help you tap into your home's equity with a cash-out refinance. We'll even cover the cost of your appraisal, saving you up to $750. Get started right now at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, equal housing lender. NMLS number 1467435.
Stop by Church's for the hot-flying flavor combination of our Texas tenders and shrimp meal today. It's butterfly shrimp alongside made-from-scratch Texas tenders, served spicy or original for $6. Church's, welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Let your voice be heard. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. The D Las Vegas, the home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beard. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Tony and Jansen.
97.1, the ticket. The telephone number is 248-539-9797. Only this stuff happens to me. I'm computer. My laptop, just major screen just disappeared. I know you guys can see me on Zoom, but I can't see you. Anyway, we'll deal with that. We mentioned Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and the combine's going on right now. And yesterday was basically media day for a lot of teams where the coaches and the general managers got to speak. Let's hear from Brad Holmes first. Brad Holmes, of course, the general manager of the Lions, talking about ways for this team to improve through draft and free agency.
Oh, I think it's a great draft in general just because of all the draft capital that we have, just like you mentioned with the 3 picks in the top 50. But, you know, Peter, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work that is still left, and, you know, that's what Dan and I's belief are. That's what we know. We have a good plan in place, but, you know, having the second pick, having the 32nd pick, you know, we have areas we have question marks a lot over our roster. So there's a lot of different areas that we can go, a lot of different directions we can go. But we're excited to have the second overall pick and 2 picks in the first round, and we're going to make the most of it.
That's from Good Morning Footballs, where these took place. Peter Schrager's the guy he's speaking to. Look, there's a lot of stuff out there. Trent Baalke, the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jim Harbaugh's good buddy, said that the Jaguars are not adverse to trading the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Now, how that would affect the Lions, if somebody really wants, Hutch or Thibodeau, if you assume that the Lions would go edge rusher, which, on their defensive stuff, that Dan Campbell will talk about a little later, seems to say, you know what, we definitely need an edge rusher. So we'll see how that happens. He gets more clarity on the prospects for the draft.
Yeah, well, we're in a much better place now than we were, let's say this point a year ago. But I will say it's very, very exciting. Now, I would say there's a lot of smoke around right now. Yeah. It's still we gained a little bit of clarity with the Senior Bowl. Hopefully we're not selected to coach the Senior Bowl again. But like you said, the season ended off on a good note. Winning 3 games is not good enough still. We want to be better, but we got some clarity at the Senior Bowl. We'll get more clarity, more questions answered this week here at the Combine. And, as the process goes along, that smoke starts to clear out a little more. But you got to just tackle each phase of the process and get clarity.
Boy, he's lighting the smoke too. I mean, he's saying a lot but saying nothing. How about free agents? Are they going to go into free agency? And is Detroit a good place?
Well, look, Dan and I had a plan in place from the get-go, and, we took some lumps early on, but as you said, you started to see that plan really come clear at the end part of the season, and what we can definitely offer is an outstanding culture. We have a culture of collaboration, communication. We're all about grit. We have a multi-year plan in place, and we just have an outstanding head coach. Dan is special. We got great leadership from the top, and I tell everybody, look, if you want to be a part of this, hey, good luck, because it's going to be a fun ride. We're going to get this thing going.
And there's a chance, according to Holmes, for really good opportunities for guys to get better.
Dan and I talked about it a lot last year about, when we brought guys in, and we're like, well, if you want an opportunity to play, we're going to give anybody any opportunity to play. I don't care where you're coming from. I don't care where you're drafted at, how much money you're making, undrafted free agents. And those guys and our coaches, they have a passion to develop, and, they're true teachers. It's a phenomenal staff, and it's just a great place to play. So we're going to have this build going, and it's only going to get better and better.
What do you guys think about what Brad Holmes had to say? It's really no news was broken there.
Well, no news, but I do think that he's taking the level of optimism at the end of the season, winning 3 of 5, and also pairing that with, he said, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of holes to fill. 3 wins is not good enough. We've heard variations of that. And an opportunity for guys to come in here and compete and play. We saw that with a lot of one-year contracts last year. And I know that he spoke, this was on Good Morning Football, he also spoke at the Combine yesterday and addressed the question of there's so many one-year contracts last year. And this is to Tom's point that he made just a few minutes ago about the State of the Union for the Detroit Lions. I'm fine with short contracts. I'm fine with all of those things. Find some guys that will work and then reward them with being able to stay around more than just that 1 year. This is a team where there's a lot of opportunity to find a place to play because they have so many needs. And Brad Holmes, I think last year, did a great job of not committing long-term to guys, and when, like a Brashard Perriman, it didn't work out, and he didn't sit there and go, my ego is enough that I want to make this work out. I'm okay with cutting this guy, and we'll move on. I think there's some optimism in regards to Brad Holmes. This all goes back to him sticking to the plan, and that's a long-term plan. It's not go from worst to first. That would be great. We saw the Bengals do it last year, but it's not always a reality, and in Detroit, it's never been the reality.
I mean, all odds are they're going to have to take a big risk at some point. I mean, usually the Chiefs did that getting Mahomes in the draft. They took a pretty big risk to move up in that draft.
I don't think it's this year, though.
Right, exactly. So everything with this team right now, not only the landscape of the draft, but the landscape of the league right now, their division, is to methodically build this thing. That it's really, that Campbell got the 6-year deal, now it's 5. That really he should, barring buffoonery or, just something crazy, he really should get 4 years at this. And then Holmes should too, barring something crazy, This should be, it's still another two years of just putting talent, building talent, taking what the draft gives you, not going over the top like what John said. But I think, you have to consider some things if when you push the chips all in. Like John, we've discussed this here and there, and I don't think it would ever be a possibility, but I don't think the Lions would ever be in a position to go after, I wouldn't go after a Russell Wilson at this point in his career.
No,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't commit to that. But I think that if Watson is cleared criminally and he gets a 6-game suspension, which is kind of what the thought is, if he is cleared criminally, do you consider that? I don't know what the right answer is. Would you do it though? Because then all of a sudden you're moving the clock ahead quicker, right?
You are.
Yeah. What do you give up? Would you give up the 2nd overall pick and next year's number one, or the Rams one that you have for next year for Deshaun Watson?
Well, the issue is I don't think we'll have that clarity by the time the draft comes around. So I think this year it's a non-issue. What it does become is whenever that does happen and he does hit the trade market, what do the Lions have to offer, and are they willing to pay that price?
Because it feels like with the Lions, the Lions are like in the just past the Casey Mize portion of their rebuild. You see what I'm saying? And then the Tigers later went on to get Torkelson and Green. And it was very methodical how the Tigers have done this. And people were very impatient with Al Avila. He should be the right guy. Oh, these are easy picks. And you can argue that to the day you die. But the bottom line is the Tigers' methodical rebuild is about ready to show if it was. And we all think it's going to work, right?
Yeah, we just want to see it.
At least partially.
Yeah.
One of these guys is going to bomb, okay? Right. I don't know which one, but probably one of the pitchers.
Right. Well, yeah, but you're not going to. To your point, you're not going to hit on every single one. And so, if we're talking about Brad Holmes and the fact that in the first draft, because and he did talk about it yesterday, that they're going to continue to build through the draft. They're not going to go out and recklessly spend or trade just to try and speed things up. They're going to continue to build through the draft.
That's my point. The Tigers didn't do it. And one of the criticisms the Tigers got early on in their rebuild, they're drafting pitchers. They're not taking position players. When's the last time I ever brought up a position player? Well, it looks like he played his hand right. And so that's the same thing I'm kind of saying with the Lions. Don't force the issue with the quarterback, because that's ultimately going to define what this does, unless he's so good at building a roster that he can win a championship with a half-assed quarterback.
Our telephone number 248-539-9797. Coming up, you'll hear from Dan Campbell. A little defense maybe changing here with the Detroit Lions. Also, Michigan State, who's primed to make a longer run after what we saw last night at the Chrysler Center. We talk about long runs. I mean, come on, Capital Mortgage Funding. They've been running the mortgage industry around here for decades. They're consistent. Harry Glanz, Dan Burke on the staff, they've been around for years. They're not guys that you just see pop up on television. You don't know who they're working for because you swear that they worked for someone else years ago. No. Capital Mortgage Funding, consistent, local customer service. I refied with them about 4 or 5 times. Always got great support.
Hey, what's up? DO jobs all over the earth. Sure. Okay, yeah, text me the address. Okay, you got it. Oh, shit. We have to go to Canton.
Sucks.
Rush job.
That sucks.
Yep.
And then
go straight here. $39,854 Edmonton.
Edmonton. What now?
$39,854.
That's gonna do it. Perfect. Then we'll start with
What's up, buddy?
the DOs with the tree. find out. The plan was to do that.
Yeah. That's a rush job. VO jobs aren't rush jobs. So we can take our time.
Did that piss you off?
Nope, I'm okay.
So you want that done today?
Yep, right now.
And then
Do it right now. Hey, there's Greg's work.
and we'll figure out.
Yep. We have to hold the DIY jobs off till tomorrow.
Yeah, have to wait till tomorrow.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, this has got to stop.
And you want a guy that's going to be an every down player.
No.
That leads me to believe they're looking more at Aiden Hutchinson because he can be that traditional defensive end. You can widen them out wide and play that three-man front and rush the passer. But if you're in a run-stopping defense, which I believe, Hutch is a better run stopper than Thibodeau, you put him in a four-man front, and now all of a sudden you've got a completely different look. You've got Aleem McNeil, you've got Levi Onwuzurike if he continues to develop, and they use him in this manner. It leads me to believe that they're looking more at Aiden Hutchinson than at Kayvon Thibodeau.
That's interesting. It's weird when you look at the mocks. Thibodeau's really starting to drop a little bit. I mean, obviously still in the top 10, pick top 8.
But when you see
love is not there.
When you see the mocks, you still see him being mocked, 2, 3, 4. But you also see him sometimes dropping down to 6, 7, 8. When you look at other mocks, you don't see that from Hutch. Sometimes you see, hey, the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they stay at number 1, they're taking, it's projected they're going to take an offensive tackle. The Lions, whether it's Hutch or it's, Hamilton out of Notre Dame as a safety, then you see Houston taking Aiden Hutchinson. You don't see the same with Kayvon Thibodeau, where he is mocked a little bit later.
You don't even see Hutch drop out of the top 3 at least in these mock drafts, and this is what they are. They're mocks. All right, speaking of safety, you brought up Hamilton. I saw a video yesterday on social media of one Jeffrey Okudah working out, backpedaling, looked like he's getting in shape. Dan Campbell was asked about, Okudah, when he comes back healthy, will he play corner or the other secondary position?
Right now we see his corner, but look, there again, a lot of this will be as we can continue to discuss, and depending on who we add or how we add.
Oh, we forgot coffee cream.
I mean, we're constantly talking about our
so we'll probably have to run back up there tonight.
What's best for us, Should this guy go to safety? Should this guy go to nickel? Should we bump this guy back out to corner? How are our injured guys? What do we add? And so we just constantly are going to have dialogue about that. But yeah, we see Jeff out there, and what we need to do is just continue to add pieces that can compete. I mean, that's ultimately what you're looking for. What do you add in free agency or the draft? You're looking for guys to compete. That's really what to come in here and mix it up. And then, because when you do that, then you find the best guys, A lot of times it is probably the guy that you just signed or the guy that you drafted, but that's not always the case. And the good news is that you're going to find the best guy to come out of it, because they are going to have to compete for that job.
Yeah, I still see him as a corner, though, right? Don't you? And I don't think he's a safety.
I don't see him as a safety, but whether it's injury that drives him there, lack of performance that drives him there, I see that as a good backup. Now, do you want that as your in year 3 of a number 3 overall pick? No. But again, it wasn't Brad Holmes that picked him at number 3 overall. It wasn't Jeff Okudah that picked him himself at that position. You still got to get great value out of that pick. And if it's to move him to safety and then you go, maybe you get a Darius Williams. And I pull his name out because obviously Brad Holmes was with the Rams when Darius was brought on. And he's got a relationship with him. He's a guy that you could add at corner in through the free agent market that would allow them the luxury of moving a player to the safety position, and then you get more speed in the secondary.
Right. I mean, everybody's talking about free agency with safeties. The number 1 safety out there is Marcus Williams, and I don't know if he fits in your let's not overpay or overreach for somebody, even though he's really good. And he's still young enough, so it's not like you're getting an old guy.
Yeah.
But he's going to command a lot, and they have to make a decision about Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker got off to a slow start last year and really came on towards the end of the season as he became more familiar with AG's defense, so to speak, right?
Yes. And so everything's going to start playing out. And we heard from Brad Holmes in the last segment, and they're getting clarity on some of these guys through the Senior Bowl. Now all of a sudden, the next step in the process is evaluating them at the combine. They've been going through this process of evaluating players and their game film that they acquired through the last couple of years. And Brad mentioned we're further along this year than we were last year, simply because Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes have had an entire year to get to know each other, know the staff, know what this team needs, and where they need to go.
Telephone number is 248-539-9797. Coming up next, last night, there was a bloodletting at Chrysler Center last night where Michigan State they didn't show up. And it's very disappointing to Spartan fans. Michigan, on the other hand, they had to win the game. They were probably the more desperate team, and they did what it took to win the game and probably ensure themselves a way into the NCAA tournament. That's next. Michigan State, 97-1.
Hey, if you're dealing with old sports injuries, arthritis, or joint pain, if you've been told that you possibly need a new hip or a new knee, pay attention, because I want to tell you about Strength Orthopedics over here in Southfield. Dr. Brandt and Dr. Fleischman are Michigan's top hip and knee robotic joint replacement specialists. Strength Orthopedics offers affordable, minimally invasive treatment for joint pain. That means they're going to try everything that they possibly can to get you feeling healthy and feeling good before the summer, and surgery is the last option if you've got to go surgery. They offer robotic hip and knee replacement, which comes at no additional cost, and they accept most insurances and even offer unbeatable discounted cash pay plans, so you can start living your life pain-free in no time, like 4 to 6 weeks. Hey, if you want to get back on the tennis court, if you want to get back on the golf, in the golf scene, these are the guys you got to go see, and you got to see them now. If you're nervous about seeing a doctor, each month Strength Orthopedics offers free Meet the Doctor events. The next event is a lunch with the doctor on March 11th at 11 a.m. at the Costic Activity Center in Farmington Hills. The doctors will be sharing information about Strength's cutting-edge treatment options for hip and knee pain. For more information, visit the events page at strength.org. That's STRAITH. Strength Orthopedics is committed to you.
97.1 The Ticket.
From the WWJ AMI 50 Traffic Center, look at the drive right now west of Ann Arbor. There's an accident leaving all lanes blocked at 94 eastbound. Just after Fletcher Road, you can use Old US 12 Jackson Road to re-enter at Baker Road. Out of Macomb County, another accident blocks the left side of 94 westbound at 12 Mile. In Southfield, a crash is in the right lane on 696 eastbound after American Drive. Another accident reported this time at 14 eastbound at Hackney Road. I'm Michelle Puckett with traffic.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman DJ Lang and John Jensen. Download it today on the Odyssey app. This is JR with an Odyssey Sports Minute. There isn't a pro sports league that hates its fan base more than Major League Baseball. For a sport with an aging fan base looking to attract viewers, the idea of canceling games is ridiculous. I'm sure there'll always be people waiting to line up to hit a ball with a stick, but MLB might as well get a grave ready next to Radio Shack, Sears, and Blockbuster. I'm JR.
You can rain out baseball. You can rain out tennis. You can rain out golf, but you can't rain out life. Sometimes, no matter how hard it's coming down, you've got to get in your car, brave the elements, and get to those who need you. That's why you need windshield wipers you can trust. You need Bosch Envision wipers. They handle the harshest weather so you can reach life's important moments. And right now, if you buy 2 Bosch Envision wipers at AutoZone, you can save $15 by mail and rebate. See what matters most with Bosch.
Hi, this is Terry Cordell of the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Missing football Thursdays? You can still turn every Thursday
Sportsbook, FanDuel.com, and the Dark Club 1-800-270-7117 confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook is official partner of 97.1.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And got Netflix for movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on-demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Fellas, get the Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Breaking news on 97.1 The Ticket is brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified. Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and
This is my idea. Yeah, don't worry about that for right now. So,
That was the game to shore last night locally.
yep, all good. Except the Bloomfield and what? Stony River and West Preserve.
Yeah, one of those will. I'll try that the other day. Right? Sound good?
Yeah, West Preserve we'll do at the end of the day today. If that's fair enough with me. Plus, we need an oil change anyway.
That's true. We could do that at the end of the day today. Instead of the other one.
We could do the oil change tomorrow. I don't care. we should go to Canton. Yep, Canton it is. Alright. Yeah, 55. Turn blinker.
Hey, did you notice that there's something going on with the time cards? Okay, I just want to make sure you knew about it. Okay, bye.
Alright, back on schedule again.
And so if they beat Iowa, they're 17-12. They can lose those last two
I
games.
survived.
Puts them in because they would be 11-9 in Big Ten, and they had quite a few quad wins. And look, we're arguing for mediocrity here because that is what they are. But there's 68 teams in this season. They're going to make it at 11-9 and 17-14. I guess that maybe just the takeaway from last night, maybe it's an overreaction, is that I do think Michigan has a better chance to maybe get to the Sweet 16.
Well, I think in all the again.
Them along with like 30 other teams, though. That's
Right.
No,
It
if you're
depends
arguing
on
Michigan
the
or Michigan State.
matchup, and if they get that 11 seed, I think you're right. I think simply because they are going to be seated lower and not have to possibly play a 1 or 2 in that second round. Yeah, I think they got a chance to make it to that Sweet 16.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I think Rico might be listening up because he was coming in on the podcast, that he would agree the State might be better off losing out. So for seeding purposes, chance, you want to avoid 7-10 because you don't like 1 or 2 on the second day.
you got to make sure you're not a lot of playing even if you lost.
Exactly. So that's all 5-1.
Yeah, Chiefs should have just scored. Like against the Bengals. Worry about scoring.
lets you go to Canton?
What?
Whoever lets you go to Canton. No, thank you.
True. Yeah. Well, if baseball ever gets back to playing again, maybe sometime maybe the style. But we've had so many styles in baseball and other sports. Dead ball era, this, steroid era, some numbers get changed. But yeah, 400. I think somebody be able to take 4 hits out of every 10 plate and 10 at bats, right? No, it's not happened. No, it hasn't happened since Ted Williams did it in the 50s, I guess.
Yeah, I got another baseball one for you. I'm gonna give you a number, and you tell me if you know what this record is. 1,406. It's kind of big of a deal, kind of a haystack. But
Starts by Cy Young.
no, it is stolen bases by Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, well, that's great.
I don't think
Plus, the style of play is changed.
style of play is completely different. The durability of those guys that are stealing bases. You always hear the tweet ticket string and all of these different things, but I don't know that one. I don't even know if anybody's going to get within a couple hundred of them.
What about Ripken's record? Which to me is a lot of luck and selfish behavior. As Wojcik would probably attest to if he's
I'm
listening
not going to
right
give him
now.
any credit for.
No, you give him some credit. I'm not saying it's nothing. Never say it's nothing.
It's very selfish of him. Here's another one. This is the NFL, and this one is not on the positive side of things. 305 interceptions by Brett Favre. I don't know that we see a quarterback get that opportunity again. I think he was so unique in what made him good, but also made him a huge liability for so long.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
So how many years? So he played how many years?
It's 18 years, I think. 18, 19 years.
So it's like almost 20 a year.
Well, I have one that's turning 50 this year. It's held up pretty well. Yes?
What sport?
What sport?
Football.
It's not touchdowns. It's not.
We'll get Mercury Morris on the line.
Oh yeah, the undefeated season.
Nobody's gone undefeated. Now the haters would say, well, it's only a 14-game regular season.
I don't care. They won the Super Bowl. We saw
Well,
something
now
really close.
Well, now they're going to have to go 18-0.
Just in the regular season, 17-0 in the regular season.
17-0 in the
yeah.
regular
So,
season.
20.
Postseason 20-0.
Yeah.
The Patriots tried to go 19-0. Here's a record probably that will never be broken. It hasn't even been tied yet. It'd be amazing if it's even tied, but broken would be just unbelievable. Johnny Vandermeer, back-to-back no-hitters.
I think we could see that.
You think you can see a broken would be 3 no-hitters in a row?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it'd have to be broken.
Oh wow. I think that would classify as an unbreakable record. Gosh, I don't even know if that one's going to get tied anymore.
Right, I know. First of all, a lot of times, the way the managers are, they're taking pitchers out of the games before they even, can get a no-hitter.
This one's shared by a lot of people, but, well, not a lot. I think it's 12.
Yep,
With
the
like 4
yellow
home runs in
X.
a game. I mean, nobody will ever hit 5.
Who's the last one to do it? That Mark Whitten guy? Is that the